So, over the last 3 months, I've studied over 500 emails from the top creators like Iman Ghazi, Andrew Tate, and I've noticed there are some common copywriting principles, some common persuasion tactics that these guys use to shift our beliefs and basically get us to buy their courses and other products. So, in this video, we're going to break down some of their top emails of these top guys and some other creators, and we're going to see what are the copywriting strategies these guys use and what persuasion tactics they use. So if you're a beginner copywriter or if you're already working with clients, then by the end of this video, you'll have a good idea of what kind of emails actually work. But the problem is this video is going to be long, and if you don't have the attention span to focus on one thing for a long time, I don't think you're going to make it in copywriting. With that said, let's start with the first email. So this email, the first one, it's from Iman, and subject line is that they forgot to tell you this. So it makes you curious, like, what did they forget to tell me and who's they? So you open the email, and basically, the big idea of this email, the main thing he's trying to sell you on is that money isn't the solution in life. You need to have freedom, these three great freedoms, because that's the whole big idea behind this next event he has coming up, the digital sovereignty thing, that you need freedom in life. Like if you see this, the whole big idea behind this event is that you need to be a sovereign man and that you need to take back control of your life and have these three great freedoms. So that's the angle he's going for in this email. And for that, first he starts in this. The reason he's talking about this political events and elections is because that's what's trending right now. It's election season, so that's top of the mind, a hot topic. He starts there, and then he takes a stance that never listen to a single celebrity because they are all privileged elite and all that. So here he's basically like throwing rocks at these people and taking a stance. And then he takes this quote from Jim Carrey, that who said that everybody should get rich and famous. They will realize that that is not the answer. So instead of directly saying that money isn't the answer, that and that you need to get these freedoms, he is using this quote from Jim Carrey as a credibility thing. And you will see that a lot of creators do this. As we see the other emails, a lot of creators use this statistics or quotes from other people to have some sort of credibility. And after saying that these three great freedoms are what matters in life, after that, in this next two lines, he's basically creating a us versus them scenario where he's saying that modern society is trying to stop you from getting these three freedoms. And I'm going to reveal how you can get these three freedoms and become a sovereign man against all odds. So he's creating a us versus them scenario. He's showing that he's on your side and modern society is your enemy. And by saying that he is going to reveal it in a private group, it makes you feel like he's letting you in on some kind of secret, something unique. And this is his unique mechanism to become a sovereign man. And then he gives you the CTA. So the big idea again is that the whole big concept behind this email is that you don't need money, you need these three freedoms. And that's what he's trying to sell you on. This next email is again from Iman, and again, if you read this subject line, lessons from an alcoholic father. So this feels personalized, right? Like it doesn't feel that he's trying to sell you something. It just makes you curious, like what are the lessons that he would have learned from an alcoholic father? And then he starts by stating this big idea of this email. The big idea of this email is that in your life, success is all about decisions. It's not about the circumstances, it's all about decisions. Then he shares a story to elaborate on this. Like there are two sons of an alcoholic father. One of them is successful and the other is broke. And then the people ask his sons like, why are you like this? And they answer that because their father was an alcoholic. So same circumstances but different decisions, and that's what changed their life. So that's what Iman is doing in this email. He is like shifting your beliefs that your situations, your circumstances don't matter. It's all about the decisions you make. And if you see here in this section, he's basically overcoming the objections and making it, he's basically tapping into this emotion of easy and that anybody can do it. Like it doesn't matter if you come from a rich family, it doesn't matter if you've never made money online, you don't have to be super talented, you just have to make this decision. And if you're ready to make that decision, then buy his course. Basically that's what he's selling you on. So the big idea again is that you don't You don't need to have the perfect circumstances. You don't need to be super talented and super rich. You just need to make that decision. And he shares this story to elaborate on that. One thing he could have done is he could have directly started with the story and then given this lesson. That would have made it better, I think. If he just directly started with this section, the two sons of an alcoholic father, it would have also delivered on the click straight away. But he is making millions, so who am I to tell him what he needs to do? And this next email, this is from Tate, and for Tate, he keeps his email very like short and punchy, and his subject lines are usually one word, and that works for his audience because his audience is not that sophisticated. It's just basically teenagers and people who are trying to make money online for the first time. So these are just like motivational emails, and he's trying to shift their beliefs and handle their objections. That's what he does in most of his emails, and it works for his brand voice and his audience. Basically, I don't think it would work for any other list except for Tate because it matches his personality. So the big idea behind this email is that the concept of making money, and he says that people always complain to him about how hard it is to make money, and then he asks them like, what have you tried to make money? And they typically reply with all these things like, I've read book, looked into this thing, I'm planning this thing, etc., etc. So he's setting up this big idea where he says that like talking and planning and reading books, this is not the answer. You need to take action. And the reason he does this is because his audience currently, they are stuck in this phase where they're reading books, they're planning and they're thinking to take action. And Tate is trying to give them this one push that you don't need more planning, you need to take action, and that action is to join the real world basically. So that's what this whole email is based on. He's shifting their beliefs, and he's telling this his relatable experience that when I was broke, I was doing all these things trying to make money. I tried, I failed multiple times, and then something worked for me. Because once you start doing stuff, that's when you will realize money is everywhere and you just have to collect it. So this two lines, this three lines, it basically gives you the emotion of easy and that anybody can make money. So then he again sells you on that big idea that you need to take action. If you're ready, then buy his course basically. Now, this one is an angle I like a lot. I see a lot of creators use this and it works every time. It makes you curious, like what is this favorite F word? So you click on that and you open the email, and this is how it starts. Like this whole section, what he's trying to do here is he's creating a us versus them scenario. He's showing that he's on your side, and this people who sell courses and these gurus, they know that you have the shiny object syndrome and they tap into it and they get you to buy their courses. So he's showing that he's on your side, and this other people who sell courses and stuff, they are against you. They're just trying to make money from you by selling their courses and all that. And then he says that, then he ties it back to the main subject line, the angle of his email. He says that Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, all these big guys, they had this one favorite F word that was the reason behind the success, and it was focus. So if you see, he's not directly telling you that you need to focus to be successful. He's using these guys as an example for credibility. Like even like Iman did in his first email, where he was using this quote from Jim Carrey for credibility. And then he says that you need to focus, and then he ties it back to his, I think it's his webinar or something like the 7 day shift. And he says that it has been working for 3 years straight. Why? Because it has been focused on one thing, on the highest income skill. So he takes this whole angle. He has a curiosity inducing subject line where he starts with my favorite F word, and then he does this whole us versus them section, and then he finally reveals what this favorite F word is, and that's focus, and then he ties it back to his product. This one is a crossroads email angle with a bit of a unique twist. Like the typical crossroads email angle, it goes like this. They have a option A and a option B, and option A are all these bad things like you'll stay stuck in college, you'll have to work a 9 to 5 and all that stuff. And option B are all the good things. You'll get to travel the world, you will be your own boss and all that stuff. And typically it will go like, if you want option B, then buy my course, just like so many people have done. That's how a typical crossroads angle goes. But here Dakota is doing something a bit different here. So he starts with that most freelancers and coaches, they go through this stuff, like they take on more clients, they have to work longer hours, and they get stressed out. So this is their typical scenario. This is the option A. And then the option B is, what if you can attract more clients, charge premium prices and all that? And how can you do this? You can do this by building your personal brand. And then he gives this example, like, reason Gucci can charge $200 and Walmart charges only $10 for a shirt, it's because of the brand. So he's giving these examples to drive the point home, to drive the big idea of this email home, that you need to build a brand. And then he gives all these advantages, that you will get the benefits, that you will be able to work with fewer clients and charge premium rates, work fewer hours and deliver better results. So if you want to build your own brand, then you need to like join this full stack creator thing that he's launching. So instead of just giving you this option A and option B and then telling you to buy his course, he's taking it one step further. Like, he's saying that there's this option A and there's this option B, and if you want option B, you have to do this thing. You have to build your brand, and if you want to know how to build your brand, then join my full stack creator waitlist. Then this next email, how to deal with haters. So this feels a bit personalized, right? It doesn't feel like he's trying to sell you something. It just feels like he's some person is showing you how to deal with haters, and everyone wants to know that. So first, he starts with building some relatability by saying this. And then he teases the big thing that he's going to show you in the end. Like, when you have a system that's proven, a proven and effective system. So by using the word proven, it targets the emotion of safe. So if you have a proven system, you can achieve any goal in life. But he doesn't reveal what this is yet. So then he again goes back into building this relatability and encouraging your dreams. When I first started out, I was going through all this bad situations. Like, I was living in a basement apartment. I was struggling to earn, and I was fighting off addiction. So he's basically encouraging your dreams. Like, if I can do this, you can do it too. And so he went from this bad situation. He had friends and family telling him to give up, but he proved them wrong. And he has millions in the bank. He has a Lambo. He has a Rolex. All this stuff. So I think his audience is similar to Tate. So he encourages your dreams, and then he again ties it back to this system that he was teasing here, this proven and effective system that will help you reach any goal in life. And then he ties it back, like, if you're ready to shut your haters up and start living your dream life, then get my proven miracle system. So that's the angle of this email. He starts with how to deal with haters, and he builds relatability by sharing his backstory. And then he says that if you want to do this, if you want to shut up your haters, then you need this system that will show you exactly how you can achieve your dream life and shut up your haters. So another email from him. This one, he's using this famous person angle, where you use some famous person's name in the subject line to grab attention. So here he's saying that why I don't agree with Alex Hermosi. So this makes the reader curious, because almost everyone knows who's Alex Hermosi, and it makes you curious, like, what is Hermosi wrong about, and what is this guy like disagreeing with on Hermosi. So he starts with this, and the main problem I have with this email is he's saying that many people read $100 million offers and think they are learning, but when it comes to actually implementing, they are more lost than ever. And but I don't know how this is disagreeing with Hermosi. Like, Hermosi doesn't tell you that you just need to read and then you will learn. Like, even Hermosi preaches the idea that you need to actually implement it. So like, he uses the famous person angle, but then he doesn't like quite deliver on the click. So we can improve this email a lot more, I would say, but I am not getting paid to do that, so we're not going to do it. We're just going to see what this email is saying currently. So what he says, like, if you see this part, he's encouraging your dreams again. Like, when I first started, I failed at a lot of things, but now I'm a 8-figure entrepreneur. I went from living in a basement apartment to now doing all these good things. So he's encouraging your dreams at that part. And the reason I was able to do that was not because of this thing. So these are basically not statements. I didn't achieve this by reading or dreaming or buying courses or mentorships. I was able to do this because of this one big thing, this one offer and one funnel strategy that helped me earn. And this again, he's tapping into that emotion of easy. You can do this without like cold DMs, without selling low ticket, without all these things. So this is like objection handling basically. And then it says, like, if you are ready to do that, then basically buy my course. Okay, so this one is a typical crossroads angle, like the option A, option B thing we talked about. So the subject line, like, would you rather? So it makes you curious. What would I rather? What are the options? And then he starts this email by basically creating a scenario into the future that you can practically envision and that you can see vividly, that you can imagine, like 75 days from now the weather will be warmer and schools will be out for summer. So you can basically imagine this. And many creators use this instead of just saying how to make money in the next 90 days, 60 days. You use a scenario like it will be summer break, or it will be Christmas, or it will be New Year or something, because that's something people can imagine much more vividly instead of just like 70 days from now, 50 days from now. And then he goes into this crossroads angle, like, which summer do you want? Do you want option A, all these good things, like you can work as much as you want, you can enjoy with your friends, you can go to concerts, or do you want all these bad things where you're working full time, you're stressing about bills and all that stuff? So this is the dream state, and then option B, this is the bad state. And then he says that obviously anybody would want option A, but most people are left with option B. And just a few years ago I was in the same position, he says this. So he's building relatability with you, and he's encouraging your dreams, that if he can do that then you can do it too. So he was in this bad state, and then from that he has been able to go to the good state, just like his students who have worked with him. So this section is that social proof credibility part, and they were able to do all this because they took action and built an online source of income. And again, here he is encouraging your dreams, that I did it, they did it, and you can do it too. And if you're ready to do it, then basically sign up for his coaching and all that stuff. So this is the typical crossroads angle. There's a option A, there's a option B, and if you want option B, then sign up for my coaching or buy my course, something like that. And this next email, this is also similar to Crossroads, but instead of directly giving you option A, option B, in this one he's telling a more of a story, that there's this coach one who has this bad experiences, and there is this coach two who has this good experiences. And the difference is that coach two did something else. She used some unique mechanism or something. And basically, if you want to know what this unique mechanism is, then sign up for my coaching or course. If you want to get results like that, then we have helped countless clients like Karen completely transform their business. And if you're ready to do that, then book a call with us or something like that. So, and then we have this objection handling, like this works even if you've tried other programs, because these are the objections of this audience. Like maybe they've already tried other programs, they are struggling to scale, they don't have a huge social media following and all that stuff. So he's handling these objections. But one thing is, this section could have been a lot more concise, because we are repeating a lot of stuff here. So apart from that, that's the big idea. Like there are these two coaches. Coach A did this, Coach B did this, and the only difference was that Coach B did this one thing differently. And if you're ready to do that, then you can book a call with us, sign up for a coaching, and it will work for you even if you have all these objections. So that's the big idea of this email. So similar to a crossroads angle, but instead of option A and option B, we are sharing a story in this case. Now, this one is another good angle I see a lot of people using. Like, please delete this as soon as possible. So it makes you think like, what's inside this that I have to delete as soon as possible? And then he starts by encouraging your dreams directly. Like, have you ever stopped to think how close you are to success? And you are a lot closer than you think. So he's encouraging your dreams. And then he goes into this section where he's building relatability. Like, because when I first started, I used to think that I was a million miles away, but I was wrong. All I needed was just one successful product, and you can do it too. So here he's encouraging your dreams, that you just need one product to get success. So again, we're delivering on the subject line, so that delete the mindset that you're a million miles away. So this is the big idea of this email, that you just need one product, you're just one successful product away. This part is handling objections. You don't need a big budget, you don't need prior experience, you don't need all this stuff. You just have to stay consistent and set aside a couple of hours. And if you're ready to do that, then book a call with me, sign up for my coaching, something like that. So that is the big idea of this email. This is a case study sales email where you share some testimonials or share the results that you have got for your clients, and to build your social proof credibility stuff. So the subject line is that this one decision changed everything for them. Then he starts by like, I want to take a moment to share some wins from our community. Then he like sets the expectations. Like, I can't promise you'll get the exact same results because it comes down to two things. But the thing is that everyone thinks that they will be able to do these two things, like showing up and doing the work. Like, it's pretty vague, right? Like, it basically gives you the emotion of easy because anybody can do it. Anybody can show up and do the work basically. He says that I can promise you a proven system that gets results and an environment to build support. So proven system, so it makes feel it's safe. And then he shares some client screenshots, some client wins, and then he says that this is the thing. The reason they were able to get this results, it's not because of a secret. It's because they had this system, this proven system that got this results. And then he says, after 20 years in the industry, I have found one key difference. So 20 years in the industry, that again gives him credibility. And then he says that the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is action. So one thing we could have done here, instead of flip-flopping between the system and then action, if we just double down on the concept of the system, if we frame that as the big idea of this email, I think it would have been much more effective just to like center the whole thing around the system instead of flip-flopping between two or three big ideas. But that's how a case study email goes. You give them some client results and then you tell them the one thing that helped them get this result, like it was some system or some strategy or something. And if you want access to that system or strategy, then basically sign up for my coaching. If I had to show you another example of case study email, like see this one, the subject line is this could be you. So it makes you curious, like what could be me? And then he starts by talking about his client, Nick, and who went in less than 12 months. He went from this bad state to this good state. And it wasn't just Nick, and even guys like Brian and other clients, they have been able to get the same results. Why? Because they followed this proven system. And so that's the one big thing. Like, you can get the same results if you know the system, and the system will help you do all these things. So if you are ready to take advantage of this, then click here and book a call. And here we have some objection handling, even if you have no prior experience, and if you can only give 2 to 3 hours a week. So that's the big idea. That's how a typical case study email goes. You give them the testimonials and then sell them on the system or that one thing. This is another good angle, the math equation the government is hiding from you. So it makes you think like, what is this math equation? It just feels very curiosity inducing, right? Like, it doesn't feel like he's gonna sell you on something. So first he starts by building more curiosity around this one thing. Like, so I'm going to start with this conversion. So currently I'm able to do all these things. I'm able to live in Dubai and drive cars and all this. But I pay for none of that. It is because I discovered this one formula that changed my life. So it makes you more curious. Like, what is this one formula that helps you do all this? So one thing that's missing is in the subject line, he's talking about the equation, but then here he uses the word formula. So if he just kept the same word throughout, it would have made it more impactful basically. So again he builds more curiosity here, that once you will know what this formula is, you'll be able to change your life, you'll be able to do all these good things without a worry and all that stuff. So this whole section, this whole starting part, it's all he is building curiosity around this one equation, this one formula that once you find out, you will be able to do all these good things with. And then he finally reveals this is the formula. So this whole section was setting stakes. This is what you call the why section, and then you reveal the what, the formula, and then he built some relatability with you. That before I discovered this formula, I was doing all these things. I was trading my time for money. I was working all this job, but after I found this formula, my life changed, and I was able to do all these good things. And then he taps into the emotion that this is easy, like I can easily get that from just one channel in 2 weeks, just 8 hours of work. And then he ties it back to the big idea that because everything in my life revolves around this formula, it pays for everything, like for my hotel in Dubai, for my parents, for my dinners, and all that. So this whole email is selling you on that, the concept of that big idea, that big equation, the formula that you need to change your life. And then he says that if you are ready to take advantage of this formula and change your life, then basically watch this video. I think this is his VSL or something. For that we have this story email, like Alex Cotoni and people like Alex Cotoni, Laura Belgray, they do story emails very well. So if you want more story emails, you can sign up to their email list. So this whole section This is the story, and then she ties it back to her product. The thing she's selling you on that big idea is that she is good at giving free readings. She is good at astrology and numerology, all that thing, like figuring out what's going on in people's head and all that. So, and then she ties it back to her product. Like when we created this 30-second client attraction quiz, I that's when I knew I had to pull out my favorite party trick. That's the idea of this email. She starts with the story about how she used to work for this astrology guy and she actually become good at astrology. And one of her favorite party tricks is to give strangers free readings. And then she ties it back to her product that I have implemented the same thing in my 30-second client attraction quiz. And if you want that, then click on this link. Next email is this busy dad turns James Bond. Again, this one is a case study sales email. So we start by introducing this guy, David, who had this goal. This is for a fitness coach. So we start by introducing this guy, David, who had this goal. Like he wanted the James Bond, Daniel Craig physique. But the problem was that this was his bad state, the objections previously. He didn't have access to a gym, his diet was shit, and he could only work out 2 to 3 days a week. So this is like indirect objection handling. But fast forward to today, he has completely transformed his body. So kind of encouraging their dreams. Like if he can go from all this bad situation to this good situation, you can do it too. And here we're delivering on the subject line. And then we say like how was like the reason he was able to achieve this transformation is because he followed this thing, the Greek body trifecta. And this is the big idea, the unique mechanism he's trying to sell you on that. And here he's making it seem new and urgent because this system was only available to my one-on-one coaching clients, but now you can get access to it. So it makes you think like you're getting access to some secret, and these are the things that you'll get access to. So these are curiosity bullets, basically, like the exact exercises David used, a little known recovery hack, how to optimize your sleep, and all that. Here we are being ultra specific. And then we have some sort of scarcity here that the first 50 people will get this bonus thing. So that's the big idea of this email. Again, we share this testimonial, the case study that he went from this bad situation to this good situation. And the reason he was able to do that was because of this one thing, the Greek body trifecta. And if you want to do that too, then basically sign up for my coaching, buy my course, all that stuff. This next one is a objection handling sales email. So this is a objection of a lot of his audience, I guess, that they don't have access to the gym. So we're handling that objection in here. So we start with saying that, hey Mike, there are no good gyms there near me. So we're starting in the customer bubble, their pain points, their objections. And then we handle their objections here and make it seem a bit easy. Like you don't need to spend hours in the gym. You don't need to do all these things. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need a gym membership. You can work out from the comfort of your home and you can just work out 3 to 4 days a week. This section is kind of a option handling, making it feel easy and all that. And just like just like my client Steven has done, and also just like 60 plus men have done, just by using this one blueprint to get in the best shape of their life. So here we're giving them the social proof and then revealing the unique mechanism, this exact blueprint. And in less than 24 hours, you can get access to the same blueprint. So that's a objection handling email. This next email is that it's not your fault. So you're just starting directly by justifying your failures in the subject line itself. This is something Iman Gazze does a lot, even on his sales pages and everything. Like if you see here, like if you haven't found success, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. So he's justifying your failures here. So and that's the angle we're going for in this email. So first, he starts by creating this us versus them scenario again, that our system is broken, like restrictions, mandates, and all that, the banks and government, these are your enemies, and it's a us versus them scenario. So, anytime you see someone use this words our, us, and all that, that means they are painting a us versus them scenario. They are throwing rocks at the enemies, they are justifying your failures. And in this part, he's saying that this situation is only going to get worse, but there's this little window of opportunity right now that you need to take advantage of. So he's building urgency here, that you have this tiny window where you can take advantage and change your life. And here he is building this section is building relatability and like encouraging the dreams of his audience, because this is one section of his audience, the parents who are just like young parents who are worried about the future of their kids. So here he is building relatability with them and selling them on the dream. And then he reveals the unique mechanism that you need to build a online income. Like you need to like not be dependent on the government. Then he says, I'm not trying to fear monger you. Like all bro did for the starting of the email is fear monger, and then he's saying, I don't need to, I'm not trying to fear monger you. Okay. And again he's doubling down on the curiosity that there's this window of opportunity and it's growing smaller by the minute, so you need to act on it fast. And then he ties it back to his product, that if you're ready to take advantage of this window of opportunity, then you need to take this 7-day shift. That's his webinar or product, something, I think. So that's the big angle. He starts by creating this us versus them scenario, that the system, the education system, the banks and everything, the government, it's against you. And there's this short opportunity to take advantage of if you want to break free from the system. And he builds some relatability with you, he encourages your dreams, and then he says that if you're ready to take advantage of this thing that will help you break out of the system, then you need to sign up for my 7-day shift thing. The one thing I like a lot here is how he is building this urgency here, like this gap is growing fast and you need to act fast. Then we have this next one, the an economic storm is coming. So it gives you the vibe of big, urgent, something big is coming. Then they start by playing on this current events again, on the election thing that even Iman was doing in his first email. The elections are coming up and things are going to get crazy and the stock market is going to react wildly. So this email is for the in a finance niche for the stock and investing stuff. So they start by targeting on the current events, and then he says that I am not worried about it because I've got this one strategy that lets me earn thousands from home. This is the big mechanism, and it works even if, no matter who wins the elections and all that stuff. And here he has this social proof section. Like, it's not just me. Over 300 people have used the same strategy to earn this much money just by working 4 hours a week. So this whole section, it taps into the emotion of safe, that anybody can do it, whether the economy is booming or tanking. And so you become recession proof. So it's safe, it's easy, and it's also big. Start by targeting the current events, that the elections are coming up, but I am not sweating it because I have this one strategy that helps me make money from home no matter who wins the election. And not just me, even this many people have been able to do it. So that's your social proof, and you can do it with just 4 hours a week, no matter how the economy is. So that's the whole angle of this email. This next one is like, are you doing this? So it makes you curious again. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? It also feels a bit personalized. So then you open, and then he starts with again this credibility part, this using a quote from some other source. Like, according to this website, Bill Gates says this. So instead of just giving you the big idea directly, we're using a source, a quote, or something for credibility, like just like Iman did in his email where he used a quote, and just like that guy did in the F word email where he used Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, examples of those. So the big idea he's delivering on here is that Bill Gates says that he wishes that he had more work-life balance, and then he ties it back to that problem that a lot of people don't pursue making money online because it will take away their work-life balance. And that's one of the pain points of the target audience of this guy, because one section of his audience is like, again, those young parents who want to have work-life balance and they also want to make money online. And so then he says that that's why I created this test group where you can take advantage of this business model that will allow you to like batch all of your work, and it only takes 4 hours every month. So you'll have work life balance and you'll also be able to make money. So he's handling the objections here and making it seem easy. It's big. And then he reveals what is this business model, the unique mechanism. It's growing faceless theme pages and monetizing them. And this part is the objection handling part and making it seem easy, like no need to reinvent the wheel. We'll show you everything. This is the newest and simplest trend, and your age doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which country you're from. You only need a phone and this. So it makes you feel this is easy and safe. This email is again from the same guy, and this is another section of his audience, people who are introverted, who want to make money online, but they're introverted. This is another objection handling email, just like the previous one. So first he starts with this question like, what do these three people have in common? A shy music artist, a quiet gamer, And then he reveals what this common thing is, that they all build a personal brand, and it's the one business model that will work for the next 10 to 20 years. So this is the big mechanism, the unique mechanism. And then he is also telling you that it's safe because it will work for the next 10 to 20 years. And then he reveals who these introverts are. So it's Rihanna, it's Dan TDM, and Bo Burnham. So he's building credibility here by using these guys, that even these guys were introverts, but they built their personal brand and now they're making money from it. So he's showing that if they can do it, you can do it too. So it's kind of encouraging your dreams while handling your objections. And then he handles some of your objections again, like you don't have to be a social butterfly to build a personal brand. And I'll show you how to do it so it's safe. And he also gives his own credibility, like I've invested about 50 million in building my own personal brand. I'll save you decades and millions of dollars in mistake. So this is another angle that's commonly used. It's somewhat similar to the crossroads, but instead of giving you option A, option B, they will tell you three bad things and one good thing, something like that, and then tie it back to their product. So you see how they do it in this email. She starts by saying that okay, we're going to play this game. There are going to be three lies and one truth, and then if you see these are the three lies and one truth. So three bad things and one good thing. Like these are the objections, three objections and one benefit. Like this thing, the second option, that is the good thing, like you can prioritize personal life and professional life at the same time. And the other things are the objections, like you have to make major sacrifices, you have no control of how much money you make. So all three of these are lies and one is the truth. And he says that if it's hard for you to figure out which is the truth, then look at this testimonial from one of my client wins. So this is building credibility and also like painting the dream state. Like one of the members, Kelsey, she's able to do all these good things. She has been able to make over 10K and 15K, and she just took a 6 month trip to Southeast Asia and she made money while she was enjoying herself. So she is tying in this testimonial in here, and then she says that creating a business doesn't have to be like stressful. You can have the freedom to work from anywhere in the world. You can have work-life balance and all that. So again, we're encouraging the dreams here. Like you can do it too, just like Kelsey did. All you need to do is get clear on your goals and surround yourself with like-minded people, and that will encourage you every day. And if you're ready to do that, then just join my mastermind. So that's the three lies and one truth angle, three bad things and one good thing. And if you want this good thing, just like my student has been able to do, then join my mastermind or buy my course, something like that. So this is another story email, like from Laura Belgray, and she does story emails very well. She will take some incident from one of her things that happen in her life and she will tie it back to her product. Like in this one, this whole section, this is the story where she talks about how she and her husband, they were out on dinner with this new friends, and her husband gave them this compliment, like love your beach house. Like they found this thing by googling about them, so they were being somewhat nosy. If you see what she does in her emails very well, is if you check out this part, it takes the reader, it puts them in that situation, right? Like I was too far away to kick him from under the table, I had a short window to, and if I miss that window, these things will happen. So it puts you right into that action, it makes you feel like you were exactly at that place. So that's a storytelling hack that you guys can use. And then she gives the payoff of the story, that personal details are what connects us, and when we connect, we want personal details. And that's why it's important to give the correct personal details on your website's about page. And then she ties it back to her product about page builder. This next email is again from Iman, and the subject line is why you need to get filthy rich. So the goal of this email is to shift your beliefs, because some of Iman's audience, they are from third world countries, and they have this belief that making money is bad, that and only that evil people can get rich, something like that. So he's trying to shift these beliefs here. Like he starts by saying that people will tell you this and they are dead wrong. So he's kind of creating a us versus them. Whenever you see this words us, our, they, that's when you'll see that it's a us versus them scenario. And then he shifts your beliefs that there's nothing greedy about making money. Making money is a tool. It's up to you if you want to be selfish with it or if you want to do good things with it. And then he says, just like I've done all these good things with my money. So he's showing his credibility here, and he's also telling you the good things that you can do with money. Like I have done this and you can do it too. So shifting your beliefs. Then he doubles down on this idea that making money is not greedy. It's because money is a tool and you have the obligation to make money. And it's up to you how you will use that tool. And if you're ready to make money online, then join Digital Launchpad. So here Iman is saying that making money, you need to make a shit ton of money. But in the first email, he says that more money is not the solution. You need this freedom. So Iman, what are you trying to tell me? Do I need to make money or do I not need to make money?